So I just wanted to share with you this reading. My name is Amenti the Awakener, Amenti the Oracle. And in my meditation, I was asking, why is there this focus on wealth and building wealth and abundance? And even though I already know the answer, it was just something I wanted to get more clarity on in terms of how I support people in this work and really get the message across very clear without it getting confused with other commercialized spiritual messages. So the first card that came out here is the Earth. So it represents the fact that people, humans, divine beings have been manipulated through the use of money, and the poverty consciousness mindset is literally turning people away from their divinity and recognizing who they are so that they can be manipulated. This is in terms of earth, this is in terms of their material wealth and abundance. So many humans have been manipulated, and that's why we've been indoctrinated into this slavery-based way of living, this slavery-based economy, without really knowing that we are the source and the supply, right? So this taps us into fear and the illusion. The wind card is talking about the mind. So we're talking about the illusion of fear. And when those humans are in fear, they recognize themselves as being part of this earth, which then allows them to be manipulated and controlled. So what is it that they need? We've got the card that's fire here, which represents the light, which represents activity and activation. And right now we are going through a process of transformation. We are breaking down those illusions of fears and realizing that we are being manipulated so that we can come into our power and our courage and our consciousness. We've got the lion here, which also represents the light. So it's returning you back to the light in you, recognizing that you are the power source, that you are the source of that power, that money, that abundance, that wealth. Whether you look at the slavery system, whether you look at the financial system, it's all built on your energy. Even the governance and the government is all built on your energy, your unconsciousness, and your willingness or ability to be manipulated and used. You are the power. So we also have this card here, which is Yemaya, the Oracle. And what you'll notice is that we've had earth, wind, fire and water. So these are all the elements that control earth. And why is Yemaya coming up? She's showing us that we are birthing a new reality, one that allows us to be conscious, and we have to tap into the true source of infinite power and abundance, which is the source within, recognizing that you are the divine source, recognizing the light and the power that's within you that is infinite is really what needs to happen. And the Oracle is talking about that spiritual ascension, that awakening and awareness that supersedes that of your earthly experience and taps you into the true original divine reason for why you're being here. Why is this all happening? Because there's an infinite source within you, and each one of us has access to that great void. The great void is the source within you, and also access through your mind. So if your mind is consumed with fear and anxiety, then you're manipulated, and the power that's being channeled through you, through this grand ascension this ascension that's taking place right now, will be used in a negative way. So you'll almost create a reality of imbalance for yourself, right? Each person who taps into this fear and this manipulation is basically giving up their divine power and their divine sovereignty. When humanity decides to recognize who they are, which is the great ascension we're going through now, we are not only raising the consciousness of each individual, we're raising the consciousness of the planet herself and allowing the planet to ascend into her wisdom. So there is two things happening here. There's the reality that we can see, which is where we see the breaking down of government's hold on the people's mind. You see people pursuing wealth, people realizing that money is not something that's hard to achieve. It's actually something that's easy to create. Ultimately learning and understanding that they are the source of the abundance that they seek. And so a lot of the wealth, wisdom and worth work that I am doing, I am Amenti the Awakener, is really not so much about the money, but everything to do with returning the awareness of where your power comes from to the source within you. Each one of us is divinely endowed with abundance, prosperity, wisdom, inheritance. But we have looked at ourselves, we have been conditioned into looking at ourselves as the doll, the puppet, and we have bought into fear. So really, by doing the prosperity and wealth abundance work that I do, it's not so much about money, but returning the keys back to you and returning the keys back to unlocking the infinite source of supply that is within you. And each one of you has come onto this planet with a mission to fulfill. That mission that you have to fulfill requires means and requires energy, and money is the currency through which those things are expressed in this time, right? However, you are not the money. However, you are not to allow yourself to be controlled by this reality. And so if you are still operating from a poverty consciousness, you cannot really tap into the infinite richness and abundance within you. Also, learning how to do magic, learning how to utilize the elements, to harness the wind, to harness the elements, is your God-given right of being able to be a creator. And so that is why most of that power has been demonized. And also we've used it in negative ways due to the fall in our consciousness. But that awareness, that power is now being returned to us. We are the eternal children, also here to play in the greatness and the manifestation of earth, right? Here to fulfill our heart's desires. It is our birthright to experience, and that which we experience through our mind is that which we are to create. So if the mind is consumed by fear, we will manifest a reality of fear. If the mind is consumed with, is in alignment with divine will, is in alignment with happiness and abundance, that is what we are going to create. So let your intentions be aligned with the truth. Do the work that you need to do to peel back the layers of illusion of fear, which is just manipulating you from your natural resources, and allow your heart to be awakened, purified and ignited. We have chosen to come to this realm at this time. We have chosen to sacrifice that which we know to be in the realm of unknowing, but ultimately to bring this planet into harmonic resonance with her truth. So there is a collective ascension that we are seeing, where we are disconnecting from the lies and the control that this world has had on us. And also, as we all raise our vibrational frequency out of fear and into abundance, then we also raise the vibrational frequency of the planet and allow her to go through her ascension, which is where we talk about bringing 5D consciousness onto the planet. It's all about us as human beings awakening to that level of consciousness which is beyond scarcity, which is beyond fear, which is beyond illusion, and actually moves into integrity and oneness with the all. This is Amenti the Awakener, and I'm bringing you this message from Source. And I'm feeling one more card that is coming forth, and this is the card of purity. This is where we will be returned to, and this represents the pouring of knowledge, the pouring of wisdom, but from a place of purity, from a place of trust, and from a place of the heart. I trust this message, and this reading has been eventful for you. My name is Amenti the Awakener. Much love.